Welcome to ADMATAZZ, your all-new destination for what's hot in Adland. A whole lot of things happened last week. The India Awards, where Ogilvy came on top, the Brandsy report, where HDFC Bank was number one for the third consecutive year. But the hottest news of the week was the acquisition of Perfect Relations by the Dentsu Aegis Network. And we have here with us the chairman and CEO of Dentsu Aegis Network South Asia, Mr. Ashish Bhasin. Welcome to ADMATAZZ, Ashish. A for Ashish, A for acquisition. You seem to be on a shopping spree.
Yes, we have had some acquisitions, and acquisitions are an integral part of our growth strategy because, as you know, we started relatively late compared to our competitors and therefore had to do something to catch up and grow much further.
And what a phenomenal journey you've had, from 50 employees to 2,700. That's a huge leapfrog.
It is, but you have to remember that we came into a market where our competitors had been there for 90 years, 85 years, etc., and had thousands of people and 100-year, let's say, history behind them. So if you've got to upset that apple cart, you have to do something out of the ordinary. And it has been a tremendous journey because we luckily have a brilliant team. So yes, growth from 50 to 2,700 has been spectacular. But the only thing I'd like to say is that the best is yet to come.
And you've done this acquisition of Perfect Relations earlier this week, and that kind of fills the big hole which was there in your bouquet of a PR agency. So talk to us about how that happened.
My thinking is that anything to do with marketing communications, I should be able to provide to my client under the Dentsu Aegis Network umbrella. He should not have to go out of that. So wherever there are need gaps in my service offerings to clients and I see that they're using those services but not from us, I like to fill those up. Now those can either be filled up through organic route or through an acquisition. In this instance, we were lucky that we found a partner who was really good, because in any acquisition, lots of things have to fall in place. People think it's about money, but that's actually the smallest part, both from the side of the vendor as well as from the side of the buyer, simply because it's got to be a chemistry match. It's got to be a match of values. These are people you're going to live with, work with for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? So there's got to be a perfect chemistry first. Second thing is values must completely match, and Dentsu Aegis Network, we are very, very particular about that. Third thing is that any business that we tie up with should be the best in class. That I'm very clear about. There's no point, I don't want any of my clients to have to use a service because it's from Dentsu Aegis Network. They should use the service because it's the best service in its class available there. And then the added thing is that it's brought together from Dentsu Aegis Network under our one P&L.
A typical PR agency is much lower down in the value chain of the marketing services business, right? So do you think it really adds value to?
I think it does, because most of our clients are using it. You're absolutely right. And one thing, I don't think PR has evolved as much in India as other parts of marketing communications have. But I think therein lies the opportunity. I do feel that the future of PR is going to be a lot more digital than it is today. Because if you look at the younger generation, social media is critical. You've got to monitor the buzz which is on social media, respond and react to that if you're a brand that wants to, keep up with times and in some cases do damage control if it is required, etc., etc.
And so, which you have a lot of digital agencies anyway doing already.
Yes, we are pretty overweight on digital. So out of our roughly 2,700 people, approximately 900 of them are in digital agencies, including a large social media agency, What Consult. I see a lot of synergies there. For example, What Consult and Perfect Relations, both of whom have tremendous strengths, can work together to evolve a new product or a higher scaled, higher end product which the market has never seen before. So, when you're in a large group like Dentsu Aegis Network and when you're working under one P&L, which is our unique way of working, the number of opportunities that come up and things like these for our clients is just tremendous, and that's what I'm hoping will happen.
And Perfect Relations has had some very high-profile political clients. Will that continue after the acquisition?
I think it's part of their strategy and they have to see how they would run it. But I think what Perfect Relations is best known for are large multinational groups, large Indian groups and brands. They're also known for tackling difficult situations, difficult PR scenarios. They're known for their scale, size and depth. So if you want a PR operation for a brand which is not only restricted to Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, Madras, I think they're probably the only agency of that scale and depth which is here. and I do hope they keep building on it. But what they do, and which clients they pick and choose, is a part of their strategy.
So the last couple of years has seen it lose its sheen a little bit.
I don't think so.
In terms of clients?
It's possible. I don't know too much about their past, but what I can tell you definitely is that if you ask anybody which is amongst the most respected, the largest, scaled up, ethical, honorable PR agency, effective in its delivery, definitely the names that come up, Perfect Relations would be on top of it. I've spoken to a lot of their clients who seem very, very happy, and many of their clients are long-standing clients who are there for years and years with them, and I think that is the best testimony to any services company, in fact, and to me that's very encouraging.
As it happens, there are just about 100 days left for 2017 to happen, and you have a stated position that the Dentsu Aegis Network will be the number 2 network in the marketing services arena in India. How's that roadmap looking?
As you would remember, I had said that by the end of 2017 we will be the number 2 marketing services group in India. To me, I think we'll probably get there much earlier, but I'm going to announce it at a time when there can be no possible dispute or controversy or everything. We're not only on track, but we're ahead of track. I don't want to be talking before time, but if everything continues the way it is just now, and if our growth continues in the manner that it has been so far, I think we'll probably get there. We'll surprise the community and get there well before.
You seem to have been winning several clients in an area that you all were not particularly strong in, which is creative.
Yes, so we had some very prominent and strong creative agencies like Taproot Dentsu, which is well known for it, but I would concede that some of our other agencies were not known as well for their creative product. That has been a very pleasant surprise for us in the last year. We've worked very hard onto it. Goa Fest, I think, was a turning point where we became the group which got the maximum number of creative awards. Creative Impact, I think. So we had 3 out of the top 10 agencies, 3 were from our group: Taproot Dentsu, Dentsu Impact, and Dentsu Web Chutney.
Winning IKEA was against 25 other agencies, and the Taproot ADMATAZZ thing are fairly high points in the network.
Yes, see, creative is the heart of any marketing communication services business, and that you can never ignore. IKEA win was a big win for us. We really enjoyed the fact that it's such a large international brand we're being entrusted with, but what was even more heartening was that we were pitted against almost every agency in the country.
And creative is your first love?
Creative is my first love. That's where I started. You mentioned the Adidas film. I think that's brilliant because it shows 2-3 things to me. It shows a very sensitive client who has backed something of this kind and supported it. It shows brilliance in creative, and I would specifically say Santosh Pari as well as his team in Taproot Dentsu did it. It also shows one Dan, because you had Taproot Dentsu, you had Kera, you had Isobar, all of them working together with Adidas, and that's the essence of who we are. And when we get it right, it just makes magic like it has, and I'm very, very proud of that campaign.
And a lot of awards coming up that way soon?
Well, I hope they do. Everybody loves awards, and I do feel it is one of the best campaigns the country has produced for a long, long time. But you know, awards are hard to predict. Sometimes what you think is the best work does not win, and sometimes work wins and you say, what the hell, I don't think this deserved it. So I'm not going to prejudge or pre-decide that, but the work was brilliant. That, hand on heart, I think anybody who sees it can say it, that work was really, really brilliant.
Coming back to Perfect Relations, any specific targets that you have from the post the acquisition?
Yes, we want Perfect Relations to start servicing as many of our group clients as is possible, so that there is perfect integration with Perfect Relations. We want to learn from them and access from them several clients which they have learnings for years and years on that. We want them to learn certain procedures, certain systems and processes, because they're new to the group. We want to together bring in different units and together digitize that whole operation much more. And we want to make sure that in a couple of years from now, by far they're the best future-looking PR company in India by itself. So
great.
I think that's
on that note, Ashish, thank you and all the best.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.